Hey loves, I'm going to get into his 2 to 3 month update. So I'm going to start off with when hubby came home. He came home when Isaac was 2.5 months, and I'll show you guys a picture of when they first met. I tried to record it, but of course it was a complete fail. I thought I had pressed record, but I didn't. But it was definitely a really amazing experience, both for him and I, to have him finally meet his son. And as you can see, they are best buds already. So now he's just going to talk about how it was when they first met.
Before I met him, I was pretty nervous and I didn't really know what to expect.
And what I did was, he was down in the kitchen at my house, and I didn't really tell him that I was going to bring the baby down yet. I was just like, let me go upstairs and say something to my mom, because I wanted it to be kind of a surprise. I mean, he did know he was going to meet him that day, but he didn't know, I guess, he was going to meet him at that very moment. And so I told him I was going upstairs to say something to my mom, and I just came downstairs with the baby.
Yeah, so she brought him downstairs and I was surprised and I was shocked. I mean, I expected him to be small, but I didn't know he was going to be so small, and I didn't really know how to, or what way to hold him. And
he's like super picky about how he likes to be held as well. So you can't just hold him any way that you want to. So I had to keep trying to teach Will how Isaac likes to be held. My doctor actually, his doctor actually told me that the way that I hold him and the way that he likes to be held is called the kangaroo hold. So I had to try to teach him the kangaroo hold, because he was holding him some other way. I'm not exactly sure how that way was, but every time that he would hold him, Isaac would cry. And so like the first night, Isaac was crying pretty much a lot when Will was holding him. But after that, Will figured out how to hold him, and then they became best buds. And one thing I noticed that his relationship with Will and his relationship with me is like completely different. So with me, it's like I'm his mother. I feed him, I burp him, I rock him to bed, he lays on my chest and goes to sleep, I read to him, I sing to him. But he doesn't like laugh with me as much as he laughs with Will. And I guess I'm not like as playful as Will is anyways, but even when I try to be playful with him, he just looks at me like I'm crazy. Like, he just doesn't laugh as much with me as he does with Will. I mean, he laughs sometimes, but I can't get him to laugh as much. But with Will can get him to laugh like all the time. Doing absolutely nothing, he can get Isaac to laugh, whereas I have to put in some serious work to get Isaac to laugh. So I just noticed that I guess our relationships with him are just different. And then like, he doesn't lay on Will's chest ever to go to sleep. Like, if Will tries to lay down on the bed and have him lay on his chest and try to get him to go to sleep, like, that will never happen. Whereas with me, he'll lay on my chest all the time to go to sleep. So those are kind of the differences as far as our relationship with him. Yeah, so he just started talking, like baby talk, of course, like 3 weeks ago. And same with talking. He can get Isaac to talk more than I can. But then at the same time, Isaac only talks when he wants to talk. Like, for the past 2 or 3 days, we haven't really got him to talk at all. Whereas there was a period where he was talking a ton. And I'll see if I can insert a video of him talking. It's just the cutest thing ever. Like, you say something and then he responds, and you say something else and he responds. It's just absolutely adorable. So, same with the talking. He can definitely get him to talk more than me. Oh yeah, and another thing that I've noticed is now, like, he has so much more control of his neck and his back and his head and stuff. So he sits up a lot. I mean, he doesn't have complete control of his neck. He still has, a bobblehead, but he tries to sit himself up. And yeah, so he's just a growing little boy. But let me see. Isaac, baby.
He feels heavy. Do you think it don't?
Yeah. Can you move my hair out the way? Not to the back, but just out the way.
I think it's kind of too late for that.
And he loves to hold on to my hair, so I can never wear long wigs anymore, just for videos, basically.
She's gonna grab that.
I don't know how y'all be doing videos with babies, because you can see that I'm always struggling. I'm always struggling with this little one. I'm always struggling. Anyways. Okay, so Isaac's going to be 4 months in like 5 days, and Isaac still does not know how to take a pacifier. It would save us so much if he would take a pacifier, but he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to keep it in his mouth. If you hold it in his mouth, he'll try to chew on it, but he always like puts his tongue in the way. So he still doesn't know how to take it to pacifier. So when we go out, you know, we never get to use the pacifier to save us when he starts crying and stuff. But he does love to suck on his fingers. He always finds his fingers and starts to suck on them. And he will also suck on your shirt if you hold him. And the other day, he sucked on my arm. I don't know if you can see it. Like, there's a bruise right there. I don't know if you can see it. But he sucked on my arm really, really hard. So he'll suck on anything, but he just does not know how to suck on his pacifier. It looks like he's looking to suck on his fingers right now.
Probably.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is how Izek is very dependent. He doesn't want to ever be put down. Like, when I say ever or never, I mean, he wants to be held 24 hours a day unless he's sleeping. And if he could be held when he's sleeping, he would want that too. Like, I can't ever get anything done. So we've been here for a month, y'all. And I mean, the place is a mess because I just can't organize things. I can't pack things away because he wants to be held. I try to do things when he falls asleep, but he doesn't stay asleep for that long. Or sometimes even when he goes to sleep, I like to take a nap. So I can't get anything done, y'all, because he is just very dependent, always wants to be held. He just doesn't want to ever be put down. What do you have to say about that?
And he always needs somebody around him or close to him.
Oh yeah, he does. He always wants somebody to be close to him, because even if you put him in his rocker, you better not walk away. And he, not only does he not want you to walk away, but he wants you to interact with him the whole time he's in his rocker or his swing. Like, he wants interaction, unless of course he falls.
With the song or something.
Yeah, sing along with the song. Unless he falls asleep, then of course, obviously he's good. But yeah, he wants you to interact with him 24/7, hold him 24/7, be next to him 24/7. Which, I mean, I can't be mad about that because I love him and I do love loving on him. It's just sometimes I want to cook, or, you know, I want to organize my home or put things away or even just take a shower, and I feel like I just can't do any of that unless my husband's home and can help me out. And even then, you know, he works a lot and he's always tired, and you know how husbands are sometimes. So what's next? What's next? So you guys know that we had to drive 12 hours from Maryland to Florida, and I had been telling you guys about that for a while. And he absolutely hated that ride, y'all. Like, he hated every second of that ride.
It took us like 16 hours.
Yeah, it took us like 16 hours because we had to keep stopping for him because he was crying, or he wanted to eat, or he just wanted to get out the car and, you know, or get out his car seat. Look at him yawning. He's so cute. And he cried for hours and hours and hours. And I was sitting in the back and I was trying to sing to him. I was trying to talk to him. I was trying to play with him. And he just absolutely did not care. He just hated being in the car seat. And he wanted me to take him out. And obviously, for driving, I can't take him out of the car seat. So the thing that we realized is I cannot sit in the back seat with him. Because if I don't sit in the back seat with him, he'll fall asleep and he'll be completely fine. Yeah, so now when we're like, you know, just driving around, you know, around Florida, I make sure to always sit in the front, because if I sit in the back, then he cries and he wants me to take him out of his car seat. So I sit in the front and he falls asleep for the most part. I mean, he still does cry every once in a while when he wakes up or when he's hungry, but it's not like crying for the entire car ride. Y'all, when he was like 2 months, he would spit up his entire breakfast, lunch, dinner. Every bit of milk you gave him, he would spit it up. Now he's doing a lot better. Like, he's finally, you know, he had kind of slowed down in his weight gain because of spitting up. But I also found out that I was feeding him too much. So whenever I bottle fed him, I would feed him 4 ounces, and I had no idea that was too much. So that's when his spitting up began. And I think I was feeding him like 4 ounces of milk for at least 2 weeks. And so yeah, he was spitting up a ton. And when I went to the doctor and I told the doctor that he was spitting up, she was like, how much are you feeding him? I was like, oh, 4 ounces. She was like, that is way too much. So she told me that I'm supposed to feed him 2.5 to 3 ounces. And ever since I started doing that, he started spitting up a little less. If I burp him, you know, twice after he eats, he's pretty much good to go. He just, you know, he might spit up a little, but it's nothing like what it used to be. And he does drool though. See, this is what he does. He chokes himself with his fingers. he sticks his fingers in his mouth and he chokes himself. And sometimes he doesn't even realize that he needs to pull his fingers back out. And he also, you know, accidentally sticks his fingers up his nose when he's trying to put it in his mouth. So he does some, you know, really cute stuff. And I think that's all I really have for you guys for his 3-month update.